Welcome back, everybody. Today we're at Cost Plus World Market, where I have found the perfect wine to go with that Megalodon shark that I bought from Home Depot this year. Look, it's Jaws-themed wine. There was a red wine blend and a sparkling wine, and I am kind of scared to see what that tastes like, so I left it on the shelf. But there are other great things on the shelves, like these sort of wooden cutout displays. I really like that Victorian mansion there. We've got a little cemetery off on the side, a couple other little vignettes, a popcorn stand, an ice cream truck, and this sort of mid-century modern house that I do remember seeing last year and was very impressed by. I do think they have a lot less merchandise on the shelves this year, but there's still some good things. I like these wind chimes. They make that nice, fun little clacking sound. Of course, we have to take a look at these pop-up cards. These are amazing. I'm not sure how many of these are the same as last year. I think there's one or two that I recognize, but we have to take a look at all of them. I could just spend hours looking at these things, just taking in all of the details. I think they're so fun and amazing. And I actually got one for my birthday this year from someone, and I was very happy with that. Got a couple more of them here to take a look at, but I promise there is some more merchandise coming up soon, although a lot of the stuff that we find at the Cost Plus World Market are like the wines and the food products. It's actually one of my go-to places to find the wines for my party, since I like to theme them based on the display. So I think that does bring us to the end of the cards. Look, here is a single little witch's broom. I love this vampire tray here. That would actually go well. So in my party area where I'm going to keep the adult beverages, it's all going to be vampire themed. So now that I'm thinking about it, I might need to go back and get that tray, a coffin-shaped tray, and in a moment here we will see the vampire wine, which I'm sure you've seen before. A lot of these wines we've seen in multiple years in multiple places. In case you couldn't see it, I think that wine cover there said "I need to unwind" with a little mummy on it. We've got some velvet skulls. I like the coloring on those, which is surprising because, in the past years I've never been a fan of the velvet anythings, but it hardly seems worth complaining about anymore when we have a world full of pinks and pastel Halloween decor. Ugh, don't know how I feel about that. Well, I do know how I feel about that. I don't like it. But I'm not the demographic I think that they're going for with those products. Right, I do like that wine decanter, though. Too bad it didn't have bats on it. I could use it with my vampire wine, but I do like that it comes with that little vampire cape on it as well. I think that's going to go perfect in my vampire room with the adult drinks. Blink and you miss it, but on the end of the shelf there was a haunted house labeled Hoppy Dark Ale. That might be worth putting out as well. I just like the theming of that. All right, we've got some more decor items here. Look, we got a little snail. I'm pretty sure we saw snails a lot last year too, and I know we saw the angel skeletons. I think the yoga pumpkin men are new, though. I'm used to seeing the yoga skeletons, but not yoga pumpkin men. That's different. Although I haven't really been around to too many stores yet this season. We will be making our way around, of course, but I'm wondering if we'll see that in other stores, because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot that is awfully unique here. Of course, we've got crystal skulls there. We can see that anywhere. I do like this bat floor mat. I haven't seen that before, but look at these skeletons. So we, of course, see these everywhere. Can't really fault them for that. I mean, skeletons are quintessential Halloween decor, and for reference, that 5-foot-ish posable one is $60. Of course, we have the hands sticking up with the thumbs up and whatnot, and we've just seen that in so many places. I'm really disappointed because I liked going to the World Market in the past for some really beautiful and unique items, and I'm just seeing generic stuff this year. Stay spooky. I do like light up things, but what's that on the end of the spooky sign? And of course, these generic skull and ghost we can see everywhere. The crystal ghost here and the pumpkins, we've seen that. Like At Home store has almost the exact same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if it's from the exact same manufacturer and just branded World Market, which is kind of a shame. Here in the candle section, we have a number of bleeding style candles. Little ghost is kind of cute. That bat might go well in my vampire theme. And here, of course, is a good close-up of that crystal-looking pumpkin. Got some paper goods here. Some ghosts and bats and skeletons. They're a little cute for my taste, but It's simple, and I do enjoy the simple, but a lot of this stuff I feel like we could make ourselves as well, so I'm torn with that. We have our mummy pillow. I know we've seen that in the past, but he's always cute. I love this spider, though. He's got that sort of fluorescent green color. I wonder if he would glow under black light. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know I did a review of a giant spider that I got from HalloweenCostumes.com. By the way, if you're interested in purchasing anything from HalloweenCostumes.com, be sure to check out the links in this description to save 15% and help support this channel. But anyway, I also bought another giant spider off Facebook Marketplace that I haven't done a review yet, but that's coming soon. I think that one's going to be pretty neat as well. And I'm going to put these giant spiders by my garage with all of my toxic barrels. So it looks like the toxic ooze has caused these spiders to become, enormous. And that's why I think those fluorescent green spiders would work well as well, because I want to put a few regular spiders, or by regular I mean somewhat large, in the whole spider zone as well. Of course, I am here in Georgia, and we have the invasion of the giant Joro spiders. I know I've talked about them in previous videos. I don't know how I feel about them. I mean, they become enormous and scary, but that's perfect for Halloween. And it's also helping to keep the mosquitoes away. So while my neighbors talk about trying to eradicate them as much as possible, I'm just letting them be, and we will see how frightening they are come this October. Because the Cost Plus World Market's merchandise this year is honestly just a little bit boring, and I have been sampling that vampire wine, which is not too terrible, I just can't focus on the merchandise here, so I apologize. I'll just go off on yet another tangent, as you know I'm apt to do. I did actually buy as well from Home Depot the, I can't remember what it's called, but their version of the dragon. That will be my third giant dragon of the season, not counting the inflatables. I did an inflatable of the dragon archway shooting fire at each other, and we were trying to decide if we were going to return it or not. In case you're wondering, yes, I did actually return it. I'm not keeping that garbage in my display. But I am excited about my 3 realistic-looking dragons, and I can't wait to show them to you. We've got 2 more to do reviews on still, coming up very soon, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to see those. I am just a little bit worried that it's not enough to fill the scene. So I also have a new fog machine that I'll be reviewing, and I'll be putting it to the test with the dragons. So I know the whole area is going to be a little bit foggy. My original intention was to use some inflatable dragons in the backgrounds to help fill in the scenes, but I did get a comment, which I somewhat agree with, that it kind of, the inflatables pale in comparison to the more realistic looking dragons. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, shoot me a message. I'd love to hear your ideas. I wasn't actually planning to bring out my pumpkin army this year, but I think I might just have to fill in the background of my dragon zone. The only other prop I really have is the knight. I kind of wanted to get the animatronic wizard as well, but that was when I was going to have my inflatable castle. And since we all know that died earlier this year, and I had to give it a rather unceremonious send-off to the landfill, I really don't have anything left in the display that's going to scream whole dragon zone. So I am at a loss. I guess I could kind of think of it as my pumpkin army has now brought the dragons to their whole attack on Halloween. That's not too bad of an idea. It makes sense to me, but will it make sense to the people walking down the driveway? I don't know. I mean, I do like to keep all of my zones pretty cohesive and on theme, but maybe I am just being a little too anal with that. Maybe we just need to let it go. I know a lot of people throw everything under the sun in the yard and call it a display, which is great. I mean, that's one aesthetic. I'm not going to fault them for that, but I like my displays to tell a story. There, by the way, on the shelf was a Chucky energy drink. I did buy one of those for a coworker. She's a big Chucky fan, so I thought it would be fitting. She didn't want to open it. I said, go ahead, drink it, enjoy it. A good thing you could do would be to use a can opener, cut off the top, and use it as like a vase and put some, creepy flowers in it, and then you've got a nice little display for Halloween. There were a number of other cards on display here in the store. Some of them are really beautiful, which we just passed, of course, and now we're back to more of the normal cards. They have an endless plethora of them. Now the last section that we're going to take a look at today is the Dia de los Muertos merchandise. Honestly, I think this is so beautiful. I love all of this merchandise. I did a Dia de los Muertos theme one year as well. I just enjoyed putting everything out because it's so vibrant and fun. I think I got the idea from Busch Gardens Hallow Scream. I know in the past couple of years at least they did a whole Dia de los Muertos theme with all the music and the colorful lights and all the brilliant sugar skulls everywhere. I mean, it was sensory overload, but in a good way for sure. So I brought it to my display. I had zombies everywhere where Day of the Dead meets Day of the Dead. Oh, I got some comments on that, I'll tell you that. But if Busch Gardens can make Dia de los Muertos part of their Halloween theming, so can I think. Alright, before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you are interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. That's going to do it for today. But don't worry, we have lots more videos coming up before Halloween, some DIYs, lots of product reviews, and of course many, many more store walkthroughs to go through. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see all of those. Till then, everyone, take care and happy haunting.